Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. This video finds us in our Black Knight Partisan. That is the hero Black Knight mech. And I'm reviewing this as well as other hero mechs because PGI is running their beach party event right now. Now it is winding down. It ends August 4th, 2022. But there is time to take advantage of this special event. The big reason you want to get into your cockpits is, among the loot to be earned, is the opportunity to choose a free hero mech. So make sure you get in there, earn the rewards, and get yourselves a free hero mech. And I'm trying to help out by reviewing as many of the hero mechs as possible to help you out with your choice process. We have footage from 2 drops that we'll be playing as we continue our discussion of the Black Knight Partisan. This first one being a domination match on the Modern Collective. And while this plays out, let's roll up our sleeves and dive into the Black Knight. So we're going to start our review where all my reviews start, and that's with a stock mech. This is brand new from the factory, so you know what you're getting yourselves into before you make the all-important purchase. Stock loadout looks like this. You get a single PPC, 2 large lasers, 3 medium lasers, an AC-5, and an SRM-2. So you've got something for everybody. Maybe this is a crowd pleaser. I don't know. You have a 52.5 alpha, top speed of 64.8 kph, and a heat delta of 1.12. Now that automatically throws up a red flag that might be a little bit low, but the reality is you're probably not going to be firing all of those weapons at the same time, so you may have some wiggle room there to play with that. And your armor is really generous. The armor is 416 armor plates of a possible 462. So for anyone who has faced a Black Knight on the battlefield, you know just how tanky they can be. The next stop on our tour of the Black Knight Partisan is in the quirks department. And there are some nice things waiting for you in the quirks. The first being a missile and a ballistic cooldown bonus of minus 15%. And that's going to help you get your shots out faster for that repeating damage that is so important over time. The next thing to take a look at is a missile heat generation of minus 10% and a very specific but standard laser bonus of minus 10% heat generated as well. Now, saving the best for last, looking at survivability in the armor quirks, there are some very nice armor quirks that come with this mech, including a huge boost to your center torso of plus 27. Yes, plus 27 on the CT. Now you can understand why, if you've ever faced one and keep shooting it and keep shooting it and it doesn't go down, you now know why. These are very, very tanky builds, and I think they lend themselves to being brawlers quite nicely. Jumping back into the action on this drop, it doesn't look like we're going to pull out the win on this one. While we did manage to clean up the enemy in our backfield, the rest of the enemy team pushed in from Delta 4, Delta 5, and we're definitely way behind on the power curve. So it's only a matter of time before we get focused by the entire enemy team. But switching over to the end screen, we do end this with our single kill, 625 damage done. Moving over to our next drop, this one has us playing Assault mode, and we're on Solaris City. And we're going to let this video play out as we continue our discussion on the Black Knight Partisan. So the next stop in our tour is taking a look at my specific build that you're seeing in this video. And again, if you paid attention to the bottom right of your screen, you'll see that my weapons loadout does not match the stock loadout. That's because I've done some tweaking under the hood. The biggest thing was, as I mentioned in the stock loadout, it kind of had something for everybody, I like to get my weapon systems to pair up just a little bit better. I understand the stock build. So you have something where you can do damage at long range, you have something that can do damage at medium range, and you have a little something for up close and personal. I kind of want to consolidate those weapon systems. So looking under my hood, I've done some extensive changes. In the weapons department, I've added an MRM-20. I figured why not take advantage of the missile cooldown bonus and make it something worthwhile. I've also added an LB5 instead of the AC5. Little mini shotgun approach there. And then the lasers I consolidated into 6 medium lasers. And this allows me to do sandblasting at range, and then as the battlefield tightens up, I can open components with the 6 medium lasers using the LB5 and MRM-20 to get crits. So that's the thought process on the weapons. I've also done some changes in the chassis itself. We've gone from a standard engine to a light engine 340. I've included double heat sinks for better heat management, and we have light ferro for armor. So the changes are going to be this. We've gone from a 52.5 alpha, upgraded that a little bit to a 55 alpha. Our speed has increased greatly from 64.8 to 73.4 kph. We have a much better heat management with the double heat sinks, and our armor has increased from 416 to 440. Keep in mind, you can amplify any of the traits you want on the chassis by using the skill tree. So take a look at the skills, and how you kit that out can also impact your performance on the battlefield. Jumping back into the action on this particular drop, it is very close. It's been a knockdown, drag-out, seesaw of a battle on this particular match. We've been going back and forth, trading kills, nobody getting a clear and decisive upper hand in the power curve. Now, we did manage to murder a linebacker earlier who had pushed in and was out of position, and now it's just a question of finding the enemy, eliminating the enemy, and seeing who's going to come out on top. Now, we did find a Nightgear that was totally focused on my teammates. I was able to help give some support fire and take him out, and now we have found an enemy Blood Asp. He's being assaulted by one of our lights, and again, I'm going to add fire support as well and see if we can't take him down, and we do manage to get the kill on the Blood Asp. Now, my light is being countered by an enemy light, so we're going to add some fire to the enemy light, and we do manage to sweep his leg. We also managed to overheat ourselves a little bit, but it was worth it to make sure that that light was left immobile so my teammates could rack up the kill on him. I'm seeing some LRMs coming from the outside, and at first glance I thought it was this Nightgear, but there's actually a second Lermer up on the building somewhere behind him. The Nightgear is fairly fresh, so I'm going to commit to the Nightgear to support my light who is harassing him, and hopefully we can take this unit off the board as well. I also noticed there is an assault mech off to our right that's coming in. I do need to be aware of him, and hopefully we can hurry up, and yes, we can get the kill on that Nightgear before spinning back to whatever that assault is that is pushing in. I think it is a Blood Asp that I saw earlier. I didn't want to go face to face with him earlier in the match, but now I have to take him on. And here comes an enemy light, and unfortunately he's got flamers, so he is driving up my heat quite significantly. He is stopping to take a look at my light unit, and that allows me to go after this Blood Asp, which I'm better suited for. He is open right torso and center torso. We managed to take the left torso, but we also shut down. So between the brawl with the Blood Asp and the light mech with flamers, we managed to get taken out. This, however, is still shaping up to be quite the nail-biter. Score is 10 to 11, so it's 1v2. Our last unit on the board is our friend the Flea, and now he's got some work to do on the enemy. So we're going to stick with this for a little bit and see how this is going to play out. Now, our Flea is making a wise move here. We had already done some capping on the enemy base, and he's going to leverage his speed against Blood Asp, which is much slower. This will also draw the enemy to him, hopefully staggering them out so he can take them one-on-one as they come. So we'll see what happens here. So there's 2 enemies left. One of them is the Lermer from earlier in the game. The other is at least a half damaged Blood Asp. And we do have a slight advantage in the cap on their base. So he can see that they are starting to move in his way, and now he's going to go hunting in amongst the buildings. Taking a quick look, the catapult is fairly fresh, and there's our friend the Blood Asp. And we were so close to taking out his center torso, but that's okay. The Flea finishes the job for us. Good job, Mr. Flea. Unfortunately, he's being focused now by the Lerming catapult. His center torso looked a little weak, but our Flea is now legged with an open left leg. So this is going to be a tough fight for our Flea to finish this off. He's lost his advantage of speed, and the other mech has a lot more armor and tonnage on him. The good news is it looked like the bulk of the enemy catapult was LRMs. So unless he can get and hold a lock on our Flea, there might be some hope for him after all. And anyone who has piloted a light mech understands the painful situation of getting yourself legged and losing that huge advantage in speed. Catapult has wisely gone up to the rooftops, trying to get a lock and view on the Flea to use his LRMs and take him from range, which is a good move on his part. So this is really coming down to the wire, dealing with a duel as to who's going to see who first. We have an injured Flea. His left leg is open, ready to go, and we've got a catapult, and I believe his center torso is open by now with missile weapons, looking to get first view of the Flea. I think it's going to come down who can shoot who first and fastest, and sure enough, there's the catapult. His CT is open. He's still got some structure left to it, so this should be an interesting fight. Like I said, this has been a knockdown drag-out the entire match, and our ending is the same. But unfortunately, the catapult manages to take out our Flea, and that's going to bring this drop to an end. Switching over to the end screen on this one, we wind up with 3 kills, 771 damage, 4 KMDDs, and 8 components destroyed.